So why you keep playing, boy? Walking around like you're some kind of star, yeah. You're talking sweet, pulling strings, but I know there's always something up your sleeve. So I won't listen to a word you speak anymore, oh no, 'cause you only bring me down.
Everyone told us we would go to school, right? And as we go to school, we would do certain things, right? We would hopefully study really hard and get really good grades. And by the time we finished high school, maybe we got a scholarship to go to college. And we're here in college to do what? We're in college to get a good education so that hopefully when we do go over and get that job, that hopefully we come in at a mid-level entry position rather than a beginner's position, right? So we can earn a little bit more. So we go to school, we spend a lot of time, sometimes years and years and years going to school, and sometimes thousands and thousands and even tens of thousands of dollars. And so we go through this whole process and we graduate. When we graduate, we get this little certificate and it says, congratulations, you're smart, right? It gives you permission to ask for some more money maybe as you go into the workforce. We go into the workforce, we get a job, and we work our way. We do everything we can. We try to impress the boss. We schmooze. We add ideas into the bucket, and we try to really help grow whatever company that we're working with. And we're doing all these things so that, again, we can at some point over here, we can hit some crazy retirement. And maybe this retirement means that we're doing our dreams and we're living the life that we want. But the reality is we get stuck sometimes, right? Just doing what everyone else told us to. We put our money away in a 401k and an IRA, we buy off our home or we pay it down, and then our kids grow up, and if you're like me, in a very short order, you have 7 children. Anybody out there like me? All right, just making sure. So I had 7 children really fast, which means life is happening, and you've got to take care of all these different responsibilities, and you're buying the house, and you're buying the car, and you're doing all these things. I want to hit a reality for a second. Why then, when we get over to this retirement phase, do most of us not have the retirement that we want? Why does it not look like what we wanted it to look like? Especially when we followed the right pattern, we followed the right journey, we did everything that everyone said was right. Can we agree that this journey that we're all on isn't working? Can we agree that there is a better way, or hopefully there has to be a better way if we're ever to get to accomplish our goals? Well, that's what I'm here to talk today about. I'm here to talk about, again, creation, management, protection, and growth of your wealth, and how we can actually, if we find ourselves behind the 8 ball a bit, how we can make up lost time. How do we do things better? How do we bridge this enormous gap that for some of us is just growing and growing and growing? I'm going to talk about this. So 90% of American millionaires made their money in what? Well, obviously we're here to talk about real estate, right? So if 90% of American millionaires made their money in real estate, then why isn't everyone doing it? Like, this seems like it should be second nature to all of us, right? If that's how people are making their money, if that's how millionaires are being made, then why aren't we all doing real estate? And the fact is, and what I've come to find out, is that real estate can be really difficult. It's not easy. It's not like all these flip this house, flip that house, and flip every house, right? It's not like all these different shows that try to make it sound like it's glamorized and amazing and so simple. The reality is real estate's hard. It's a moving target. The markets are changing. The housing market's changing. The lending market's changing. So all these different things, as they're in flux, it can be really difficult to really hit that target. It's a moving target. So unless you really know what you're doing, there can be some massive mistakes, right? One decision, it could mean that you earn $100,000, but that same decision, if not made in that direction, could also mean that you lose $100,000. So we got to understand and learn what we can do that is correct for us. Now, going back to what I asked you before, I want you to get clear for a second, not only on what you want or what wealth means to you, but what does the term financial freedom actually mean? And maybe that's synonymous with the word wealth that I'm talking about here. But what does financial freedom mean for you? Just take a few seconds here. I'm going to get my watch out here. Take 20 seconds and write down your definition for financial freedom. Just take 20 seconds. All right, 15 seconds left. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Maybe you've already been thinking about it because I kind of prepped you here in the beginning. You got 5 more seconds. All right, now my guess is that whatever it is that you wrote down and wherever you are around the nation, I've got a definition here that I think can encapsulate everything that you probably wrote down. So for me, financial freedom is really, really simple. It's residual income exceeding expenses, right? Residual income exceeding your expenses. that means that all of a sudden you've created more freedom for yourself. Financial freedom to me is not even so much about the financial part of it, it's about the freedom part of it. We all want to experience freedom. I said earlier at the very beginning of this evening together that one of the greatest resources that we have is our time. And so if time is one of the greatest resources, how do we get more of it? Well, having financial freedom gives us more time freedom, gives us more freedom in general to do the things that we want to do, to bless people's lives, to live in our passions. So I want to talk about this because if residual income exceeding expenses equals financial freedom, then we got to figure out how to get some of that residual income, don't we? We've got to do things a little bit differently. I want to make sure that we understand what what residual income is, because if we don't understand what it is, it's going to be hard for us to get, right? So let me just define it real quick here for you. This is income that's continuously generated after an initial investment of time, money, and or effort, right? One of those three things. We do the work once, and we get paid over and over and over again. The problem for most of us is we're not taught to do it this way. We're taught to do it a little bit differently, aren't we? Most of us are taught that, hey, in order to get financial freedom, I got to work really hard my entire life. And sometimes I've got to work 2 jobs, maybe 3 jobs just to get ahead. Or maybe both partners in that relationship need to work 2 or 3 jobs just to get ahead, right? That's not what residual income is. That's not where true financial freedom comes. And so what we're talking about here is, first of all, when your residual income is greater than your expenses, you no longer have to go to work. You're no longer forced into a situation where you feel like you have to do something. You're now, if you have that residual income, you're able to choose. You're able to do whatever it is that you want to do. You're able to go out there and serve that person or spend that time working on your passions, right? And that comes from creating that freedom in your life. So I want to show you an example here. I've got 3 different individuals from different backgrounds working different types of jobs. I've got maybe a doctor here. Let's say she's earning $250,000 a year in annual income. I've got a contractor. He's earning $86,000 of income. And then I've got a teacher here that is earning $40,000 of income. Now, all 3 of them are earning a decent income. But just at a first glance, who would you most likely like to be like, financially speaking? Right? Who would you like to emulate, financially speaking? I think at a first glance, most people would say, the doctor, right? I'd like to emulate, I'd love to be earning that $250,000 a year. And that's great, but let me take this a little step further. If you look at their combined assets, the doctor still has some pretty good assets, $450,000 worth of assets. Here's the neat thing about this is this guy, this general contractor, he's got $1 million of raw land. So he's a net worth millionaire. So that's pretty neat. And then you've got the teacher here. Now it says that she's got 10 rental properties. So let me just go one more step here. If you look at it, the teacher's the only one that has a residual income. The teacher is earning $3,800 a month in residual income. This means that the teacher, if she, for whatever reason, couldn't go back to work tomorrow, she'd be financially free, right? Her residual income is exceeding or meeting her expenses. She's got true freedom. So what we're talking about here is the difference between 3 different things. Earned income, which is just trading our time for money. And again, I said this before, but if our time is our most valuable resource, then why do we give it away so cheaply? Why do we trade it for a pittance often? Our time is so valuable. We've got to do different things. We're also talking about net worth here, and net worth can be great, I guess, if it's converted into a cash flow. But if it's not converted into cash flow, it's not going to help us a whole lot, right? There's a few eggs here. We've got our nest here and some nest eggs. We've got IRA that you can see there, 401k, home equity, and savings. If you can't see it, that's what they say, those eggs. The interesting thing about those different nest eggs is all of them have to be converted into a cash flow in order to really serve you on a monthly basis. If you want that net worth to help you, it's got to be converted or spent down until it's gone. And I don't think anyone really wants to be in that situation where they build a massive, pile of money just at retirement to spend it back down, right? What we want to do here at Strongbrook is show you how to build this big nest egg of money and then allow that nest egg to pay you on a monthly basis without whittling it down, where it actually continues to grow. It's a new concept, right? But this is what we're going to talk about here. So obviously residual income is the true financial freedom. So think to yourself for a second. If you stopped working today, for whatever reason, and there's a lot of different reasons. Life happens for all of us at different times. So if you stopped working today, how long would you last before you had to go back to work? Would you last a year? Would you last 6 months? Would you last a week, right? The problem with us in America is most of us are paycheck to paycheck. Most of us are spending 100 to 110% of what we're earning. So we're constantly getting further and further behind rather than further and further ahead. So we've got to do something to bridge that gap. Well, if you were to just try to create a $5,000 monthly residual income, let's just say that you just want to create that $5,000 every single month, and you could assume a 4% annual dividend. How much money would you need to accumulate? How big would that pile need to be for you? Well, I won't keep you hanging here. I'll let you know. That pile would have to be $1.5 million. So at $1.5 million, assuming a 4% annual dividend, you'd be earning about $5,000 a month. Well, let me put this into perspective for you for just a second. That would mean that you would need to save $1,798 every single month for the next 20 years. Okay? $1,798 every single month is what you would need to save. And not just that, because that's not even enough. If you saved that every single month for 20 years, you still wouldn't have the $1.5 million. You would need to actually invest that money at a 10.8% interest rate. And that 10.8% is the 30-year S&P average, right? So let's just assume that you could do that. If you could do that, then you would be able to accumulate that and get that kind of residual income. The reality, again, is most of us are spending all of what we're earning, or more even than what we're earning. So we've got to do something to bridge the gap here. So I'm going to talk about two different options in real estate, because real estate is the most powerful investment that's out there. I'll prove it to you in just a minute. But I know that no matter where I go and no matter who I'm speaking with, I've always got two different groups of people. I've got my option oneers, which are people that want to learn it and do it themselves, right? You want to learn all the good stuff, but you want to go out there and swing the hammer and do the investing on your own. And that's completely awesome and okay. We've got options for you. I've also got our option twoers here that want to learn it, but then they want someone else to do it for them. They recognize that this isn't their passion, and this isn't where they want to spend their most precious resource, their time, right? And so they get us to do it for them. So I want to talk about both options. I'm going to start here with option number one. So with option number one, we call this our creative PSA, or professional service agreement, which is what that stands for. This includes monthly trainings on a variety of topics, okay? How to do no money down deals the right way. I think we want to do them the right way. Anyone want to do them the wrong way? Raise your hand. No? Nobody? Okay, just wanted to make sure, right? We want to do it the right way. How to transact deals in your backyard with big equity. This is huge. In order to be successful in real estate, you've got to do the right type of real estate, because the reality is there are thousands of different types of real estate. And you can get caught in all the excitement of, hey, flipping this house and flipping that house. You've seen the shows, right? We've all seen those shows, right? It sounds exciting. To make a quick $30,000 or a quick $50,000 or even a quick $10,000, it can sound pretty enticing. The reality is it doesn't always crack up to what they say it is, right? There's a whole lot more behind that. How to identify the best markets in which to transact. We talk about getting paid thousands of dollars for bird dog networking, which is unbelievable. And then how money is really made with flipping deals. As a company, we flipped over 1,000 deals. So we know how to do it the right way. We can teach you exactly how it's done. And a whole lot more, of course, in line with our creative PSA. Now, not only do you get these monthly trainings, but you also get some really exclusive access to a number of amazing things. Number one, insider tips and trips. I like that. Insider tips and trips. Whoa. Actually help you not trip up and actually show you exactly what you need to do to be successful in real estate. It's unbelievable what you can trip over. Sometimes it's just little small things. And like I talked about earlier, the market is constantly moving and changing. So how do you stay ahead of that? Especially if you're not an expert, especially if it's not what you're doing every single day. That's one of the things that we provide here with this creative PSA, is helping you understand how to do that. An online community. One of the greatest parts about investing the right way is being connected to a group of individuals that are like-minded, right? An elite mastermind with people that have been there, that have done it, and that are continuing to do it. Networking with others to close deals, actually live deals that we bring to some of these events. This is all part of our creative professional service agreement. So if you're like some of these people, some people all around the nation that want to do it yourself, this creative PSA, this first option would be exactly right for you. Now I want to switch gears here. I want to talk about our done for you section, because again, I said I've got both sides of the coin here. I always have people that also want to learn it, but have someone else do it for them. And so what this looks like is we've got a team of over 200 experts, people that eat, breathe, sleep real estate, and they love it. And we used to say this a lot. If you want something done right, don't do it yourself, right? That's different than what the saying how it usually goes. But we've learned that if you really want something done right, then hire a professional, hire someone who's an expert. Get a mentor in your life, someone that's been there and done that, and that can help you avoid a lot of those pitfalls along the way. And so the neatest part about this is not only do we do it all for you, but we give you 100% of the profit as well, while we do 100% of the work. And I don't know if you believe me yet, but I'm going to prove it to you how we do this. Okay, so I'm really excited about this. It all starts with a game plan. Now, going back to where we started, this journey where we start with school, we get the job, we work for 40, 50 years, and then we try to retire. Right? This whole journey, we already talked about it not working. Why doesn't it work? Well, the reason why it doesn't work for most of us is because most of us don't actually take the time to plan out ahead of time. We're just kind of taking life as it's dished out to us. We're told to go to school, so we do. Right? We're told to go to college, so we do. We're told to get a good job or look for a good job that's safe, so we do. We're told to put our money in our 401ks and IRAs and pay down the house and all these different things and buy the car, so we do. So we're just kind of doing what we're told. How would it change if you knew in the very beginning exactly what your outcome was going to be? And you understood the specific and exact steps that you needed to take in order to receive that specific outcome. To me, this is kind of like building a home. When you build a home, you don't just go to Home Depot, grab nails and wood and start throwing things together, do you? Well, I hope not, right? If you want that home to stand the test of time, right? No, we go out and we hire an architect or a draftsman. And we get them to pull up and create a blueprint for us. From this blueprint, we then go forward and we get crazy, right? We lay the foundation, we build the walls, we put it all together, we put in the HVAC and the electrical and the plumbing systems and all the different systems of the home. And then we throw on the roof and we drywall it all in and we paint it and it's beautiful, right? When it's all done, it's this beautiful home. Let me ask you a question. When you go through this process, if you get midway, could you change where you have like the sink, maybe put it on a different wall or, put a different window in there? Can you change that mid-process? Absolutely, right? What you do though is you have to go back to the plan. You have to revamp the plan a little bit, change it up a little bit. So it's not static, it's flexible, it's fluid. And then you can change it so that you can have it exactly the way you want. Well, there's no difference with our financial lives except for most of us don't do that financially speaking. Instead, we just try to accumulate and build whatever we can, and hopefully at the end we're hoping that we finally have enough, but the reality is when we get there to retirement, it looks nothing like we wanted it to. And we wonder why. Well, we just need to plan it out. This plan, this custom game plan is an unbelievable tool for you. This allows you to understand how you can plug into our system, and if our system will even work for you. At the end of the day, two things are going to happen when you get your free customized game plan. Number one, either it's going to work for you and you're going to love it, and you're going to start doing something here with Strongbrook. Or number two, it's not going to work for you and you're going to hate it, and you're not going to do anything with Strongbrook, right? Those are the two options. But you'll never find out unless you get your game plan. So this is something that is definitely a must-have for everybody. Once you get your game plan, we then go to work for you. We find the homes. We buy them. We fix them. We finance them. We then lease them out for you, manage it, maintain it. And then when you're ready to sell, we help you with that as well. And the best part about this, I talked about earlier how we do all the work, but you get all the benefit, correct? We actually don't take partnership in your home. You get 100% of the benefit from that home. Where we do get paid is we earn about 5% in the typical real estate fees with each transaction. So no matter what it is that we're doing and how we're doing it, we set it up in a way where we get to benefit as you benefit. And that to me is a true win-win system when it comes to real estate. Again, we benefit as you benefit. Don't worry. I am a capitalist and I believe in making money. So hopefully you're okay if I help you make a lot of money, that we get to take a little bit of that as well, right? This is how we kind of set it up. So it works very, very well. So how it works is when you get started with us, we assign you a personal coach. Now this personal coach is really there to create and help you fulfill your game plan. They're dedicated to your success. It all starts though with that custom game plan. Then we educate you on the different markets that we're in, both the income and the growth markets. We help you identify, access, and leverage the assets that you have. And here's one of the things that I've learned. There was I think it was a 17th century French economist, J.B. Shea. He said, creating wealth is nothing more than taking assets from areas of low yield and moving them into areas of higher yield. Duh, right? it's pretty basic. But the reality is most of us still aren't doing that, as basic as that sounds. We put our money into those areas of low yield and we just keep them there. But there's a reason that we keep them there. So I want to ask you guys a question. Willing to participate for a minute?
Sure.
Yeah? So, Warren Buffett. You know who Warren Buffett is? Who is Warren Buffett? Rich guy, right? One of the wealthiest men in the world. Warren Buffett thinks differently than probably 99.9% of people on the face of the planet. If I were to come to you and tell you that I have this investment and it's amazing and I can earn you 100% on your money every single year, what do you automatically associate with what I'm saying?
Either a scam or high risk.
Absolutely, right? This guy is a liar, he's a shyster, run. Right? Yeah, high risk. So we automatically as a people think, okay, high return equals high risk. Warren Buffett, I read a book all about his investment career and his life a couple years ago called The Snowball. If you're interested, it's a great book. I do a lot of audio books on my phone. But in this book, it talks about his investment strategies. And before he does anything, he talks about it has to have a certain risk level. But the way he describes it, he says it has to have a certain margin of safety or a large margin of safety. And so before he does any investment, whether it's real estate, stocks, buying companies, or whatever it might be, it has to have this large margin of safety. So again, we think high return equals high risk. Warren Buffett thinks high return equals low risk, right? He expects a high return with a low risk investment. We expect a high return with a high risk investment. Is there a possibility that the only thing that separates our financial lives and Warren Buffett is the way that he perceives that little conversation of risk, right? His thoughts about it, the way he goes about it. I believe so. So we help people to identify that, move those assets from areas of lower yield into those areas of higher yield. Again, keeping risk equal, in my opinion. We then find and present the deals that fit your game plan. We facilitate the financing, and really, you make the decisions. We just execute, right? You're the CEO of your business, of your real estate business. We're just the experts that are going to facilitate that process for you. So, here's what we do. We specialize in a short-term buy and hold strategy, okay? These are single-family homes bought below the median with very strict parameters is the big thing right here, because that helps us to minimize that risk, keep it low, and then maximize our profits, okay? This is just an example of a home that we've done in Indianapolis. These homes are very cookie cutter. They all look very, very similar. Purchase price of $89,900. TOP, which is total out of pocket, okay? So total out of pocket if they're financing this home would be $25,975. Their monthly rent you can see there is $950. PITI, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, or the total mortgage payment, $465. So their monthly cash flow is right around $379. That's a 5-year ROI of 65%. I don't know many other things that can do what real estate can do if it's done, again, the right way. So what we do really well here at Strongbrook is we help you buy one home the right way, first of all. Once we've helped you buy that home, we can help that home purchase your next. Now, this is something that real estate can do that no other investment can, right? Which is where I can take $1 and put it in this home. I can take that dollar out, but it's still working for me in that property, right? I can then take that dollar and put it into this home. Now my dollar is working for me in two different places. I can take those dollars out and put them in more homes, right? This is leverage and other things like that we utilize here in real estate. This is where real estate, again, does something that nothing else can. It grows dynamically. It allows $1 to work for you in multiple locations. So for those individuals that need to play some catch up or would like to have a little faster game plan, maybe they don't have 20 years, maybe they want to do it in 5, real estate can do that. Okay? So this is what it looks like. How?
How do you take the money from one to the next?
Absolutely. Let's go through that. So when I put my money down, so if I were to buy this home, this is purchase price $145. This is just an example. This is a home in Las Vegas, though. This is actually one that we did. The total out of pocket was $39,000. So if I put that $39,000 into the home, right, it's now sitting there in the property and I'm getting a return. Correct? Because I'm getting cash flows.
No, I get that.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean by going to the next property.
Yeah. I do a cash out refinance. Actually, it's not. We can talk about that later. So we do a cash out refinance. We've been doing it for a decade. So we cash out that property. We now put it into another property. We've now got the same dollars, technically, working in two different homes, correct?
Your payment's higher on the one.
Correct.
So but yeah, you could go buy another property.
Yes.
Obviously, you're just waiting for the out return.
We're still cash flowing on this property too.
Occupied property. You can do it. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing it successfully for the last 10 years.
I'm just saying it ruins the whole illustration of the first one.
What do you mean?
Well, the return on investment won't be the same.
No, it goes down. Obviously, when you cash out that money,
Correct. So
yeah, your monthly return goes down a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. You're still making money on it, and you're still making.
You would make some money.
Yeah, and it's better than any other investment that I know.
Oh, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
When you were saying that, I was like, it doesn't, like, you'd have to cash it out. I just thought you were saying you'd take the rents from it, like, yeah, that would take.
Yeah, you can do that too. That takes more time, and we have a system for that as well. But yeah, absolutely. So basically, we're helping you. If you can start with, and this is based on our actuaries. So this isn't just guesswork. If you start with 2 homes in your first year, this isn't also get rich quick. You can see this is a 20-year time frame. Through 20 years, we can turn that 2 homes to 13 paid off free and clear homes. Show you exactly how we do it. With a net worth of $1.8 million and a cash flow of $132,000 roughly, right? So with a cash flow of $132,000 a year, we can start looking at retirement a little bit differently. Most people, again, and some of you came in a little bit late, but most of us, when we get to retirement, it looks nothing like what we wanted it to, right? It doesn't look like cash flow. It doesn't look like a residual income for 98% of us. It looks a whole lot more bleak. So what we're helping people to do is create a different outcome and doing it very, very successfully. So here's our track record. This is our last 1,000 deals that we've done. You can see the purchase price there, on average about $137,000. Average square foot, 1708. Average year built, 2002. Average equity, ROI, is return on investment, is 20+%. But your average cash on cash is still 13%, better than anything else out there right now. Average price per square foot, 62. Property rehab, 7,000. Average vacancy, 42.4 days. Again, this goes back to that strict parameters, creating predictability. I don't go out and buy $1 million homes. It doesn't make any sense because I could go out. Let's just look at an example for a second. Let's just say that there was a $2 million home. We knew it was worth $2 million. It appraised for $2 million, and you could pick it up for $1.5 million. Would you? There's a lot of people that would. I know a lot of people that have. But the problem with those homes is, first of all, your buyer base is so small, it's ridiculous, right? You may have to sit on that home for 6 months before you fill it. You may have to sit on it for a year before you fill it. And are you willing to take the payments of a $2 million home or a $1.5 million home, whatever you got it for, right? Are you able to float that for the 6 months or the 12 months that you're sitting on it? Most people that I know that are getting into real estate aren't. Some people are, and it could make some sense, but you have to know all those things. We get into a marketplace where we're looking at the largest amount of people, the largest amount of renters, as well as the largest amount of people and investors that are looking to buy that type of property. So for whatever case or for whatever reason, if we wanted to sell it or if we needed to dump it or if we had to get out of it quickly and liquidate, we're a lot more likely to do so. We just had that experience over and over and over again. So again, strict parameters creates predictability. Doesn't get rid of all the risk, but definitely mitigates a lot of it. It allows us to do a whole lot more. So what we do is we help people. When they first come in, they're assigned that project manager like we talked about. They help you leverage our team of experts, accessing the best properties. We then facilitate the funding, fixing, leasing, and management of those properties. Making the money isn't the hard part, but you want to make sure that it's also protected appropriately. So we help put a comprehensive asset protection in place. And then it just becomes kind of a rinse and repeat, right? You go back to your project manager. Their whole part in the system is to help you execute your game plan, right? Helping you actually take those steps to move along and as you're buying and selling and expanding and growing your portfolio, they're holding your hand throughout the whole process. So, which option is best for you? Learn it and do it yourself, or learn it and we do it for you. I have absolutely no idea yet, which is why we do offer our free game plan. So this game plan is something I offer for everybody. This is something that other companies charge you hundreds of dollars for, and we don't, because again, I don't want to work with you if I don't know you yet, and I don't know what your goals are, and I don't know even if our system will work for you yet. I like to figure that out first. So this game plan is something that we give for free. It comes with all the data and information for those of you out there that are kind of the Oracle type that need that information. We've got all the information for you to show you. The best way to get this is just going onto this website, which is whoever invited you to this program. It's their username, strongbrook.com/SB/game plan. It's right there. We'll also put that on a link that you can go ahead and grab as well. So, at the end of the day, I don't think anybody likes to make blind choices. That's my experience. People like to make choices based on information that they've got, educated decisions. So, get your options. Get a free game plan. We'd love to have you here, and we'd love to provide you with some options that you may not see right now. With that, I just want to say thank you, and have a fantastic evening. Bye-bye. Thanks. Sorry, we're also doing a webcast.